Unit 5 is just a continuation of Unit 4. This first coordination exercise is much of the same content in the right hand with a longer baseline in the left hand. And then there's Shuffle 3, complete. The first page is what you've already learned in Unit 4, and the second page continues the solo, so it's a little longer. And we wrap things up with harmonization, looking at it in a little bit of a different way. I've provided notation this time, and then I ask you to identify the chord tones. And of course, after that, it's time to play it as beautifully as possible. I also make mention of the extended shuffle solo, which is shuffles 1 through 3 back to back. Download the PDF shown here, and that'll set you up to play an extended shuffle solo comprised of shuffles 1 through 3. And that'll be a nice way to test your ability to sustain the groove longer. More coordination. The right hand is all the same stuff this time. What's changed? The left hand. We have a different walking bass pattern. There it is. Well, I think we're going to have to get this into our fingers, our arms, our bodies, into our consciousness, into our soul. Get this grooving. So what are we going to do? Well, we start with the thumb. Make sure that you're not on the knuckle. Get up a little bit more. So 1, 5, 3, 2, 1, not on the knuckle. 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5, 3, 2, 1. Check. You're not on the knuckle. 4, 3, 2, maybe 3 repetitions. 2 repetitions. Maybe it's going to stick. Well, everything else should just fall right into place. You've already gone da 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 da. You've already gone. Know what to do. Remember, when you get to measure 17, legato. Make sure there's a lot of flexibility in your wrist. Sometimes if you sing it, 1 dee 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 dot, dee 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 dot. Play them over and over and over. The feeling of a groove just grows the longer you play it. It should sound better with each repetition. And again, experiment with your articulation. if you can rise above the coordination and the notes and start playing around with articulation, that means you're in control, that you've got this. And we're going to finish another one of our shuffle tunes. So we have the first page is already behind you. You've got that together. And remember, at the end of the first page, we've got a pickup into the new part here. So let's, and again, the left hand is all the same that you've been playing. So we're going to focus on the right hand. So if we look at measure 8, you're all set, I think, for measure 9. They're just downbeats. And if you want to play them that way, that's a good way to kind of get into it. That's the way it should feel. And then see if you can, I'm going 2-3 there. So measure 10. And then I come in here. Now that's going to take some getting used to. 3, 2, 1. And then I'm 1, 2, 5. So okay, measure 11. So let's leave the grace notes out. Just 3 and 5. 4, 2. And then 1, 3. I think you can slide on all of them. F sharp to G. D sharp to E. And then here, 3 to 3, D sharp to E. It'll really help you in measure 10 to articulate all of the eighth notes with your forearm. And if you can do it flexibly, you might be able to make these open fists a little longer. You know, when I do that, I'm actually using my forearm just on the open fist. But you've already done that. And this is something you've already played. We're going to slide F sharp to G. I think the best sliding finger is going to be your index finger. And you'll probably need to kind of swipe at it a little bit. So I'm thinking all of those. So that's all you need for 13. In 14, you're going to need to move from this position to And then I'd get ready for the next measure by putting your index finger on the B flat. So I'd be ready for the next position at the end of measure 14. I kind of like that. I know I've got a thumb on a black key, but that's kind of my go-to when I play this one. I suppose you could do something like this, but that'll work too. So another way of blocking out measure 13 would be and go back and check. Different strokes for different folks, different hand shapes. I think either one of those could work. I think I went. I guess I can't make up my mind. You can decide for yourself. In Unit 5, we're going to look at harmonization a little bit differently. In this particular assignment, all of the chords are notated. What I'd like you to do is take your pencil out and label each of the chord tones. So I've done that for you for C major 7th. Let's do the next one. We have the root on the bottom. The next note up will be, we're going to call it the 7th. It's the minor 7th, but because this is a dominant 7th chord, I want you to write 7 so you get used to jazz chord symbol nomenclature. We want to reinforce that when we see just a number that's a dominant 7 quality with the lowered 7th. All right, the next chord tone up is the 3rd, and the G, you could say, what do we call that? Well, you could call it the flat 13. I'm calling it the sharp 5. That's a strange, anomalous label that seems to stick. You'll find that chord symbols often contradict the way that would be easiest to notate the chords. So if you can just kind of live with that contradiction, I think things will fall into place. There's a lot of enharmonic substituting that we do. Let's look at the next chord, the B flat 7. We've got the root on the bottom, the 7, because it's a dominant 7. 3rd, and you could say that's the 6th, but one of the things that we agree on with jazz chord symbols is that if there's a 7th in a chord and that note that might be called the 6th, if the 7th's there, we call it the 13. There are plenty of blogs about this. I'm sure there are videos about jazz chord symbols. It takes a little while to get used to them. Just keep riding along with me, and eventually some of these little idiosyncrasies will become second nature to you. This next one, we've got the root, 7, 3, and we're going to call that the flat 9. It's indicated in the chord symbol. Well, I think you can finish this. Once you do, practice it. Use repetition to feel the shape of the chord. Once that starts to set, I think you'll find that this is another great context for you to practice your pedaling. And why not make phrases out of this? Add some dynamics. Maybe some tasteful rubato. Turn it into music. Make it an expression. Make it into something beautiful, something that you'd want to remember, or you'd want others to remember. And as we wrap up Unit 5, I think it's a good time to point out that you can play all of the shuffle solos back to back. And it makes a really nice statement that's longer. And what's good about that is you can get the groove and just keep going. You can't exactly mix and match the choruses because sometimes there's a pickup, at the end of one chorus that leads to the next. But I don't know. Give that a try. Maybe you have to rework some things and create your own variation of the solos. But for starters, see if you can play all 3 shuffle solos back to back and keep the groove going. I'll bet by the time you get to that end of the 3rd shuffle solo, you'll just be cooking. And you might find something that you're hearing to play that just adds to it. So maybe there's a 4th shuffle solo that you make up. But to facilitate all of that, I just created a PDF. You'll see a downloadable link there at the Jazz Piano Immersion 1 site, right here in your Unit 5 folder. So you can print out that PDF and have all of the pages up to learn it that way. So don't miss out on that. And also there's a recording that I did of it, all the solos from beginning to the end. And there's also the backing tracks with bass and drums so that you can get that grooving and see what it's like to link up with a bass player and a drummer. So have fun with that.